Hi everyone. Well, as many of you know, it's going to be turning colder over the next few days, especially towards the end of the week. Of course, we showed some maps earlier, which we will show again, an updated version of. But it certainly does look like turning colder as the week goes on, with some risk of some frost towards the second half of the week. Also, we thought we'd start bringing back these weekly updates, weekly video updates, as we're coming into the winter season now, because we see a lot more active weather, sometimes colder weather, sometimes stormy weather. So we thought maybe it could be an idea to start introducing them once again. So let's start off here. This is the synoptic chart, or synoptic maps if you want to call them that, and it's got these colours here which show the temperature of the atmosphere. Now this isn't the temperature down at ground level, this is the temperature a few thousand feet up in the atmosphere, and that gives you a much clearer indication of what the air mass is. So down at ground level we often see the temperatures rise during the day and fall at night. Further up in the atmosphere, a few thousand feet up, we don't see that variation, so it's a lot more stable, so you can see the air mass type a lot clearer. And this is what we've got at the moment. You can see here over southern England, the winds are coming in from the from the east to northeast here, or northeast, but they are coming really originating from the north, and this stays with us as we move into tomorrow. And you can see the winds are still really in the north, but we've got this big ridge of high pressure from this high out here in the Atlantic. So let's have a little look at the cloud cover. So it's going to be dry through tonight and tomorrow, so we don't need to look at the rainfall maps, but we can see as we run through here, you can see the cloud. We've got the odd patch of cloud moving through at times, but in general it's quite a clear time, quite a clear spell overnight and into tomorrow, and it's it stays that way really into tomorrow evening as well. But we won't see any fog overnight tonight because the wind is staying up. So the wind is a fair old breeze still blowing. And also the air is gradually drying out now as well. So, that decreases the risk of fog as well. So then we'll move back to this map again and we'll move through into Tuesday. And you can see as we move through into Tuesday, we have this area of low pressure gradually sinking down from the north here. We'll run it through to the end of the day, so you can see the low pressure, it sinks down and then moves kind of really east a little bit, or east-southeast, so it doesn't come right over us, it does veer away ever so slightly, and this is what's going to introduce this second wave of much colder air. So let's run through the cloud map through tomorrow night and into Tuesday, and you can see the cloud gradually starts to increase from the north as we go through the day. And then it stays really with us right through until Tuesday evening, when it starts to clear again from the northwest. So starting dry, or Monday night into Tuesday will be dry with those clear spells. Then we start to see the odd showery patch of rain moving through as we move through Tuesday. And then into the evening, still a few showery patches of rain. It doesn't look that heavy really, and it doesn't look too terrible, but it certainly will be, certainly will be a little bit of patchy, showery rain here and there. Perhaps the odd bright spell mixed in as well, of course. So now let's run through Wednesday, and you can see that low pressure does sink down a little bit further. The colder air is really starting to be introduced at this point. You can see these blues coming in. So, this is the upper air, or the 850 HPA air temperature is around about -6. So that means down at ground level, it's going to be around 5 or 6 degrees. You often find the temperature anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees warmer than what it is at this height in the atmosphere. But like I said, it does give a good indication of the type of air mass that we're in. So yeah, it does turn a lot colder through Wednesday. That's when things start to really change. And as that low moves in a lot closer, we start to see further areas of cloud moving through from the north at this point. And also accompanying that cloud, we also see a few further spells of rain developing as we move through Wednesday daytime. Maybe the odd heavier spell. And in fact, as we can go back a couple of frames here, through Wednesday afternoon, the temperatures start to fall away quite a bit. So we're looking at 3, 4, maybe 5 degrees as it comes down towards the south coast here. which means that over the hills we may see some of this rain turning a little bit wintry, so we may see a little bit of sleet over the hills, although that does clear quite well as we move through Wednesday night. Then as we move into Thursday, we see the low pressure moving out the way, and we see this high pressure that's down over the Azores. It's starting to stretch this ridge out here out towards us again, so any cloud and rain moves away, and this settles things down once again, at least for a time. But that also means that we've still got this cold air coming down from the north here. So with clearer skies and drier air, things are likely to turn very cold as we move through Thursday night. But we'll get to the temperatures and winds in just a moment. So through Thursday early morning, and then as we go through the day, we've still got a bit of cloud with us, and there could still be the odd patch of rain at first, but in general it is likely to be mostly dry as we move through Thursday. There's a few showers out here towards the northeast that may develop and try to cross the land a little bit, but they won't get very far. And that really sets the scene as we go through into Friday as well. So Friday is looking a little bit like Thursday, but it's going to be fine and dry. We've got this ridge of high pressure at this point right across us, and we're still in this blue coloured air, so that's showing that it's still going to be quite chilly as we move through Friday. Although as we move into next weekend, we start to see these systems out here in the Atlantic. Big area of low pressure out here towards Iceland, with these little secondary areas moving around the main system, spinning around here and potentially moving towards us as we head in towards next weekend, and in towards maybe even Saturday and Sunday. So it does look like turning quite unsettled and rather mild compared to how it is towards the end of the coming week. So with the cloud cover through Friday, there's no point putting the rain maps on here because there will be absolutely nothing showing. You can see that we've got some reasonably clear skies likely on Friday. Again, this is a way off now, so things may change a little bit, but it does certainly look like Friday will be probably quite equal to what we see tomorrow. So Monday and Friday are the best 2 days at the moment of the week, but again, this may change a little bit. Now, for those of you that need wind speeds for this week, so we'll run through this really quickly. We zoomed in a little bit here as well, so you can see the winds. This is the average. Get my words wrong here. This is the gusts, the wind gusts as we move through tonight and into tomorrow, and you can see that it's a little bit gusty at times, but it's generally not too bad. You know, these strongest gusts are really pushing up to around 25-30 mile an hour, but mostly towards the exposed parts of the island. So if we have a little look at the temperatures as well, you can see that it's not too bad tomorrow. So the temperature around 8 degrees Celsius, so really not too terrible. I mean, again, much colder than what we've seen over recent weeks, but for the time of year, you know, not too far from average really. So then as we move through tomorrow into tomorrow night, we see the winds drop away, and of course that would mean that the temperatures are likely to fall at least for a time. And we can see through tomorrow night the temperatures anywhere from 1 to 3 degrees Celsius, but inland this doesn't show the high fine detail, so inland in a few spots we could see temperatures down to around freezing. At least that seems very likely. And then as we move through into Tuesday, the winds come around into the west and west-southwest for a time, and that's when that rain and showers start to, well, a few of those showers anyway start to move our way, and the winds are through Tuesday looking a little bit fresher, so we're seeing gusts up to around 30-35 miles per hour, and with the temperatures anywhere between 8 and 10 degrees Celsius. And then as we run through further, you can see the winds pick up a little bit through Tuesday evening, so really pushing 40 miles per hour at times. And then getting a little bit stronger even through Wednesday night. And then as we come into Wednesday daytime, I said Wednesday night, I meant Tuesday night. As we come into Wednesday daytime, the winds pick up really quite fresh or even strong. So over the sea here, possibly 50-60 miles per hour. But even over land, we're looking at wind speeds of around 40-45 miles per hour potentially on Wednesday. And that combined with temperatures at 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. And that's going to feel really quite cold. The temperatures are going to feel below freezing. It's going to feel somewhere in the region of -2, -3 degrees with that wind chill. And then as we move through into Thursday, you can see the winds ease off somewhat. And we end up with this moderate to fresh north to northwesterly flow. And with that, the temperatures on Thursday really somewhere between 4 and 5 degrees, possibly up to 6 in 1 or 2 spots if you're lucky. And then as we finalize this, we move through into Friday. The winds ease further, still from this chilly north to northwesterly direction, but they start to get a lot lighter. And as that area of high pressure or ridge of high pressure moves over, with day temperatures around 4 to 5 degrees Celsius. So anyway, we got there in the end. That's quite a lot of talking to get through. Hope it all made sense. We've got a bit of a different system running here now, so it's just trying to get used to it a little bit to make these video updates. So I'm sure I'll get used to it in the coming weeks if I continue with this. We would like you see, I can't get the words out either. Would like you to let us know whether or not you would be interested in keeping these video updates going or not. Because, you know, we do like to know what people prefer. Of course, we will do our standard written updates as well. And if we get any really severe or interesting weather, there'll be a combination of written updates and video updates as well. But for the time being, that's about it. So anyway, goodbye for now, and we will let you know a little bit more if anything else happens. Goodbye.